You know, the more video creators and streamers I research, the more disgust I feel. Like, why do so many people with such big platforms just abuse it? Why do they do disgusting, deplorable things? It just seems never ending, and unfortunately, the same can be said about Mr. Beast's lifelong friend and co-host by the name of Kris Tyson. Mr. Beast has one of the biggest YouTube channels in YouTube history with over 300 million subscribers. He's known for pumping millions into his videos and making very little profit as a result. Generally speaking, he's well liked by most, and in fact he actually has a channel called Beast Philanthropy where all the revenue from those videos goes straight to charity. He's always been the type of person to use his money and influence to help others. However, unfortunately for Mr. Beast, his reputation is currently on the line because of some of the fucked up things his co-host Ava has been up to. Because of her controversy, she's announced that she will be permanently stepping away from everything to do with Mr. Beast. Tyson, for those that don't know, came out last year as a trans woman, and as a result she had received a lot of harassment from the anti-LGBTQ+ community, but since then there's been a whole new flood of allegations looking at her behaviour on social media over the last 10 years. And I'll tell you right now, it's absolutely foul what she has gotten up to. So basically back in 2016, Tyson, who was 20 years old at the time, had been sending messages to a 13-year-old that were sexual in nature. This 13-year-old went by the name Lava GS. Now Lava visited Mr. Beast's compound on multiple occasions and actually took a job for Mr. Beast because of Ava's influence, which to me feels a lot like grooming. Tyson responded claiming that nobody groomed anybody in the past years, that she has learned that her old humour is not acceptable and that she cannot change who she was but can continue to work on herself. Now at the time, Lava actually tweeted a response to this stating that I am not a victim, nothing bad happened between me and Kris. People are creating lies around my name. Now, before we dive into the messages and the allegations that Kris has received through her interactions with Lava, we should really look into some of the things that actually kind of show her dark side before all of these allegations. So back in 2017, she tweeted a photo of artwork of a disgraced cartoon artist by the name of Sharman, who is known for depicting young underage girls in a pornographic way. And Kris was a big fan of his. And I think as well as the fact that she had a printout of this cartoonist's artwork means she paid for his work. And I think it goes without saying that paying for any sort of pornographic imagery in relation to children is absolutely disgusting and fucked up. Now with this little nugget of information, let's look deep into her communications with Lava over the years. So in 2016, Lava posted a screenshot of the channel's 50,000 subscriber count on Twitter and earned a Mr. Beast signed butterfly knife for being the top donor at the time with just $20. Now this is before Mr. Beast had grown to the level of fame that he's at now, and as a result as well he was followed on Twitter by both Mr. Beast and by Tyson. Now Lava at this time was 13 years old and joined Discord, and at this point Kris reached out to Lava and then they built a private server on Discord between them, as well as Tyson's friends with other minors that would eventually be on the server. Now this is where things would get really weird. In 2018 to 2019, the two would play games and communicate privately on Discord as well as talk publicly on X. Lava would call Tyson, who was male at this point, a big boy, dad and sexy. And that just makes me feel sick. I mean, this kid is like 13 and like in what way is that appropriate in any sense of the word? And in one reply, Lava actually asked Tyson about her hentai addiction, referring to obviously which is drawn pornographic anime, and also shared an image from Tyson's computer from her social media with the caption, "This is a bad way to hide your hentai." So the fact that they're talking about hentai when he's only 13 years old, again, speaks for itself. In one interaction, Tyson also tweeted an image of her Patreon and said that if she could get more signups, she would release her nudes. To which Lava replied with, "I'm your first Patreon, big boy." And Tyson responded with, "I posted some nudes for you, please no share." Now, no nudes were actually shared, but the fact that Tyson was having this sort of communication with a child, again, is fucking disgusting. Now, so in a Discord server for gaming YouTuber by the name of The Duo, Lava posted an image from Tyson's group chat of her in front of the American flag with the caption, "Coming for America." As I had mentioned, Lava worked as a production assistant at the Beast gaming channel. Lava was also a moderator on the channel's Discord and Reddit, and sometimes actually appeared in some videos or helped out behind the scenes. And Lava has stated that he actually stayed at the Mr. Beast compound multiple times over the years with his actual parents as well. Now, people have come out that have worked with Mr. Beast Like, for example, Trey Yates, who was an editor for Mr. Beast and also helped hire Lava, claiming that he didn't see any proof or evidence that there was any sort of inappropriate behavior going on between Ava and Lava. I wanted to look into the Discord itself and show you guys how messed up some of these messages were. So a man by the name of Nathan W, who actually moderated the Discord server with Lava, began to leak some of the messages, and it really is like just disgusting. Kris and his friends knew there were minors in this server, but regardless, the server was also not safe for work. They talk about how Lava has to remove a lot of inappropriate stuff from the server before it goes public. Now, Kris, who went by the name was Kris the Meme God on this server, shared a link and commented saying she's only 14 damn. He would also say things like harder daddy. Kris another time asked Lava about a hentai bot, stating, I believe in a free not safe for work channel. Now that's basically Kris wanting a hentai bot in the server, knowing that there's minors in the server. Kris also stated that he knew like the average age of his server was like 14 years old, and yet he continued at this time to spread this disgusting pornographic content. Since the allegations came out, Lava had initially defended Ava, like claiming that he wasn't groomed, claiming that there was no inappropriateness going on, but he has since changed his tune on that, saying that the conversation should not have happened with the people at the age that he was at that time, and he strongly condemns them, and he realizes now that he was a minor in the situation and not an adult influencer who shouldn't have allowed this to happen. Of course, he didn't see it was wrong at the time because he was only a kid, you know. And of course, anyone with any sort of like ethical or moral standing can clearly see that he was groomed, can clearly see that the messages were inappropriate. Like, Lava literally ran a server as a child with other children in the server that showed pornographic content. It's just Kris using her influence and her power to sway kids to do what she wanted, and it's absolutely disgusting. Hey guys, just want to give you a heads up, the next part of the video is quite a sensitive topic for certain people, so I just wanted to give you guys the heads up. For the next 2 minutes and 16 seconds, the video will go into detail about an alleged sexual assault that took place between Kris and a former employee of Mr. Beast. So if that's something that you would like to skip, if you skip by about 2 minutes and 16 seconds, that will get you past this part of the video. So yeah, viewer discretion is advised. But it actually doesn't end there, because a user by the name of Moose King on a website called Thread Reader claims to have been sexually assaulted by Kris. The user claimed that they started talking on X when she herself transitioned publicly, and Kris, who at that time hadn't transitioned yet, congratulated her. Then the messages apparently went from innocent to very, very sexual when Kris asked this user to masturbate on video calls, and the conversations apparently just went more and more in a sexual way. Kris then apparently offered her a job to work with Mr. Beast and flew her over to where she was living at that time, which was in Greenville, under the guise that she would get a job. Now, when she did go fly out to Greensville to meet Kris, she was informed that she'd be sharing a bed with her, and from the get-go, sexual things started to happen where she would very routinely give Kris oral pleasure but would not receive anything in return, and this happened time and time again. And again, she kind of felt like she had to do it because she wanted a job. Now, she would eventually find out that there was actually no job, and Kris had no intention of giving her a job, and she would decide to fly back home, but they would still keep in touch for a while after that, and eventually she would offer her a job as a assistant. So she decided to fly back to Kris, and the sexual stuff began happening again. Now, the sexual assault allegation came when they were watching TV together, and Kris decided to get naked and pleasure herself in front of her, and then she felt that she had to partake in oral sex with her because she felt if she didn't, she wouldn't get the job. So this is where the allegation of sexual abuse and sexual assault comes from. And then eventually Kris would go on and meet someone else and basically push this person aside, and then claim that basically the girl had quit the job as the personal assistant, which turned out not to be true. She got fired by Kris. And then Mr. Beast would then eventually find out, and himself has decided to start an investigation into the whole situation, because this user actually showed screenshots of the conversations to Mr. Beast and his team. So they're now looking into the allegations to see what the actual truth is. So of course the sexual assault thing is disgusting behavior, but also the fact that Kris used her power and her influence to control and manipulate this person into sexual favors, into promise of work. Again, disgusting. Now, of course, we don't know what's actually true or not, but based off the behavior of Kris, it's definitely a possibility that she did commit these disgusting acts. And I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in reading the whole story, because it's pretty fucked up. In terms of how Mr. Beast feels about it, he commented on Kris's behavior on Twitter, stating that he completely condemns the behavior, that it's unacceptable, and that he's conducting a investigation, and that basically he has fired her and she's no longer welcome to work in the company, and he welcomes any sort of investigation that will kind of come to the rightful conclusion of these things. In regards to whether he knew or not about the allegations, it's kind of hard to say. There's definitely instances where we've seen like posters of the weird kind of child type porn on the wall in Kris's videos, and Mr. Beast is there in the video, so he was definitely aware that Kris was into some weird stuff, but we don't actually know if he was aware of the extent of the abuse and the allegations. I like to think he didn't know, because it's kind of would go against the whole kind of ether of Mr. Beast. But I mean, we've seen many examples in the past of people that come across as genuine, kind people that are disgusting and deplorable, so I wouldn't necessarily rule it out, but I'd be very surprised if Mr. Beast had any knowledge of the extent of like what his friend was doing. And as for Kris, like, the reality is, like, she's just a vile and disgusting human being. Like, to talk to minors the way she did was beyond acceptable, and to use her power and fame to groom kids and potentially commit sexual assault is just not forgivable, and we cannot tolerate this kind of stuff as a society. She doesn't deserve a platform. She should not be allowed to be around kids, and I hope she's criminally prosecuted for this, because it's not acceptable, and we kind of need to come up with a way to deal with these big influencers that seem to be committing these horrendous acts, because it's like history is repeating itself. Like, I've covered many different streamers, and it's amazing to me how much people will have the arrogance to think that they could do such disgusting things and also get away with it and not get in trouble is beyond belief to me. And it's always difficult to cover these kind of stories, like, but these people need to be talked about. We need to have open communication and find ways to deal with it. But like, can we just leave the kids alone? Why do some YouTubers feel the need to like abuse their power? But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe as always if you enjoyed the video. If there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comments down below. Like, what do you guys think? Are you disgusted? Any of you guys fans of this person? Like, I've never heard of her before. I'm not a huge Mr. Beast fan, so I don't really know who he works with or anything like that. So when all these allegations come out, I actually had no idea who she was. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and hopefully do something less depressing. Peace out.